Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. George Morgan here at your service. It's PSGL, it's Wednesday night, it's Spain tonight as well. Lots on the table, lots of battling. The title contest is still alive and kicking. And Jack, it's only taken us 10 rounds. We're on the 11th. It's all to play for.
Boromant goes on the inside and takes the lead on the final lap of the race. Now it's side by side between Boromant and Warner, but Boromant's got the inside.
Here in this phenomenal race, Cameron Dowd looking to take P2 in his very first PSGL F1 PC race. Incredible to say the least. You see there, Putin's the lead. 1.5 seconds. DRS is the name.
Hello everybody. Welcome to PSGL PC F5. We're back. Well, we weren't here last week, but we're here. Finally, we're here for round 2 of season 34. I'm alongside Omi here today. It's great to be alongside you once again. Your mic is muted, mate.
Gonna happen. It was always gonna happen. That's why I usually don't put myself on mute. However, great to be back. Great to be back here on PSGL. Unfortunately, we weren't able to be here last time out, but we are here this week. So hopefully, it's gonna be an action-packed race coming up.
Yeah. So, after last race, that we sadly did not see, these are the standings. If anybody wants to know, IW Derhart is currently on top. He won in Brazil. Philip Sosa, who a lot of people love and know in the sim racing community, finished second with ET8 Balazs. I'm sorry if I destroyed your name. Finished third with an old friend of mine, Sixten Lintar in fourth, and Victor Vidler in fifth. As you can see, the standings currently on your screen. I think it's pretty different standings at the moment. You can see all of the top 10 if you remember how the points are scored, as you can see from the one race we have had. So, what do you think about Bahrain?
Well, I enjoyed commentating over it, but the thing is I've just done too much commentary around Bahrain, so I was looking forward to Vegas for just something different. But we are going to be here at Bahrain once again. I've done quite a bit of Bahrain right at the tail end of F1 22 and at the beginning of F1 23, so I've done too much of Bahrain, but I'm hoping that we're going to get a lot of great action, because the last few times I've done Bahrain, I've kind of been looking forward to it a tiny bit less, but then when we've got into the race, it's just been so action-packed that I've started enjoying it and starting jumping around again. So hopefully it's going to be one of those races, 29 laps. So it's hopefully going to be an action-packed 29 laps.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's something that everybody wants to have, is an action-packed race full of things that happen. But one thing we have to take away from Bahrain is turn 1. One of the best corners on the Formula 1 calendar to start off with. I think it truly is, and I think it's understated massively as a corner, because, you know, for us for the last couple of years it's been the opening corner, the first corner of the race, wherever, and so I think it's going to be exciting if we can get back to that turn 1. Of course, today was actually meant to be Las Vegas, which is something to talk about. It's sadly taken off of the calendar due to some issues within the game, but we are back once again, as we are doing Bahrain instead. But we love Bahrain, don't we? We love Bahrain. I think Bahrain is a great track for action. Not sure how Las Vegas would have been, but I don't think anybody particularly minds if it's Bahrain or Las Vegas, because people love both tracks at the moment, which of course we all like to see. I have to say though, I am excited slightly for this race, because we have turn 1, we have that first 3 corners on the track, but we have those long straights with DRS, the pit straight, and that second straight as well, which we've seen some action, especially between, for instance, Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton back in 2021, where they had a battle, and especially on the pit straight, between Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen just last year. So what do you think? Do you think we're going to have some battling down on in those areas of the track?
Oh, definitely. I think there's a chance we could have battles at every single corner of the racetrack. So I think we're gonna have a brilliant race. We'll definitely have some battles down into turn one, and then if you can't get it done into one, you can kind of set the move up and go for it into turn four. So it's definitely gonna be very, very interesting. This race, and really looking forward to all of maybe the DRS chicken, which is going to go on as well, breaking early at turn one to get the DRS into four, which is good for us basically because we get to see the battles go on for longer all the way into turn four. But obviously it does increase the chance for all of the drivers to make contact. But let's hope they keep it clean. Obviously we weren't able to get this one live but last week, but across all the other tiers it did seem like the drivers were a tiny bit aggressive across all different tiers. But it's going to be interesting to see how they go at Bahrain.
So it shouldn't be much longer until we get the race going. I believe we're just waiting on 1 or 2 drivers at the moment. Sorry about the small couple of screen issues we're having at the moment. Just clicking back and forth a little bit too much. But Bahrain, it's not been on the calendar very long. Not even 20 years it's been on the calendar. But it's one of those tracks that just makes you go, damn, because it's got a great history within F1, not just real life, but also sim racing, which I think is one of the biggest things. But some of the moments we've had at Bahrain is massive. For instance, we go back to real life F1. We go, turn one, Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen last year. We go to that second straight with Romain Grosjean and his horrific crash, which, thank God, he was not heavily injured from. But we have so many points on track where you can overtake and you can go for the move. But we've seen moves like at the hairpin in Sector 2, where we saw Fernando Alonso do it in Bahrain this year. And I'm just wondering, are people going to do that here again in sim racing? Because we've seen it happen. We saw it even in some of the top tiers of sim racing. But could it happen again?
Yeah, and also we'll get back onto that in a second because we're gonna have plenty of time because we're actually having a lobby restart because it's actually on crossplay, so we'll be restarting. So we're gonna have more time to actually answer that question. But me and Epic are now just gonna have to get in the new lobby here. But it's definitely gonna be interesting. All of the DRS, all of that is going to go on this weekend, and actually it was Felipe who actually finished first on the road last time out, but then it was basically it was actually Dare who finished first on the road. He got a second penalty. Felipe then took it, but then it was actually removed later on in the stewards room. So it's not over. Remember, in PSGL we have race wins can change right a few days after the race due to penalty. So if you do see that, so remember all results here are provisional, and if you do see maybe the leaders involved in something, then there's a big chance it can change. So going to be really interesting, but we're hoping that we're going to have it all decided on the racetrack.
Now, before we enter qualifying, we've got to talk about qualify a lap around the track. 1 lap around the track is so important because we've seen people win, from 4th or 5th, but we've never seen a driver win from any further back. Like in my personal experience in sim racing and watching real F1, I've never seen a driver win from further back than about 6th. And so might we see a driver possibly go for a smart strategy and go from something maybe like 10th to 1st? Or could we just see a couple of drivers maybe come up through the field slowly? What could you be seeing as a sort of strategy in qualifying? Because we know some drivers like to hold back a bit in qualifying and then push more in the race.
It's definitely going to be very, very exciting, but anything is possible. And remember, it's a PSGL race. We could have someone from 10th or 11th or really anywhere winning. So it's going to be super, super exciting here in Bahrain. And I also think that it's gonna have a race that we are gonna be seeing maybe some moves which are other than the DRS zone. So maybe a few late dive bombs. I think someone will try to do the Alonso move at turn number 10 as well. So gonna be very, very exciting as I'm now in the new lobby. So
yeah, I'm just joining.
Yep.
Sorry about the current camera issue with Omi. It's not him. It is me. I'm just currently trying to get into the game, so don't mind that. couple of technical issues, but
I
we won't
expect
talk about that.
There's a lot.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
lot.
When I'm
there's a lot
streaming,
of-
expect a lot of technical problems. Not just the commentating. No, but seriously, I'm excited though for today because this track. I mean, every time we have come to Bahrain, you can't lie. Every time that somebody comes to Bahrain, the racing is going to be good. There's going to be racing up and down the field, and once again, everybody can see you, Omi, your lovely face. But yeah, I think everybody is excited. So I think at the moment, yes. Sorry, everybody, about the camera issue. That
we're
is
going
just
now?
me. I think we are. Okay, I'm trying to sort out everything. I'm completely lost at the moment, but okay. I think we're gonna go in now. So don't mind Steam. Just don't look at the Steam part. But yeah, so we're going in now. We're about to get going for Bahrain, for PSGL, Bahrain, PCF5. Here we go. We're going to be going into a short qualifying, followed by a 29-lap race round this very nice track, the Sakir circuit. Of course, in the desert of the Middle East, on a little island, as it is. Well, not a little island, but it's quite a big island. But we're finally going to this lovely track that is not so much historic, but is well renowned and loved by many. So, what are your predictions for qualifying?
We've only had one round, and that one round we could not even watch. So it is really, really gonna be a hard one. But I guess I'll just go with gonna be hard. I think we'll let the first ones play out. I think that's a bit more fair. Let's let the first runs play out. And then then we can sort it, and then we can maybe decide on who we think is gonna be taking it, because it is gonna be super, super hard to predict now when we couldn't even watch the first round. But we did know the results. But anything is possible.
So, at the moment, I know one driver who is very strong around Bahrain, and that is the driver of Sixten Linthart. So, these are the drivers who are here today, just to put it quickly. The drivers of, I think, Alessandro Finn, reserve, Sokolowski, also a reserve. We've got NLR Rookie, who is here today. He is an actual driver. Same with Elliot Noren and I believe Joris as well. Ashbest is also another reserve. Quite a few drivers, but we have got some main drivers here. Our last race winner, Deha, is here for today's race. We've also got some other drivers who did compete quite well last race, like Lundqvist, Adam Lundqvist, the driver that we're currently on board with. Also, Sixten Linthart, who would ultimately finish 4th last race. He got so close to the podium. I look back at it, he was so close, but it just didn't work in the end for him. So a bit unlucky there. But looking at the first driver out on track, as I get everything out, it is a Williams. It's Shazoo Floor. Now this man, Shazoo Floor is round. We've had a spin. They couldn't even get past the formation lap. Not a good start for the Williams driver, but we look now to the next guy who's in front, and that is Geltec, if that's exactly how you say your name. So, early action? Any reaction from that?
Well, my reaction would be that you're cursing drivers already. It's only, it's basically our opening minutes. We've just got into it, and Epic is already out at it by cursing drivers. And Ricky's been disqualified from the session, blocking the pit lane. Now, probably he didn't do that, but it's
Elliot
how it went.
Noren's left.
Are we having a restart?
I don't
What's going
know.
on? I'll check for you.
Geltec, we're going to go on board with Geltec for this lap. Here we go. Oh. Well, I don't know what's happened.
We aren't. Oh.
Are we? People are just crashing. I think we are.
We got put to a bit of a black screen there, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we are. Let me have a look. sorry to everybody who is currently.
Restart. Yeah, restart.
Sorry to everybody once again for these technical issues that we experience about every week. We're just going to quickly go to a quick intermission page just for a minute or two, just until we get the race and the lobby back up. See you in a couple of minutes. Okay, we are back. Sorry about the little issue we had with the restart of the lobby. We should be going soon, as I have been told. Obi, you still alive there? You're still hanging in?
Yeah. But hopefully, we're about to get quite a bit of action. We did get the timer going for a second, but it looks like it has stopped now. But don't worry, action is coming. We're just having to wait a tiny bit, but I'm sure when the action does arrive in this qualifying session and then obviously the race, it is going to be worth it. So
Yeah, we also
really
have another driver who's joined. We've actually had Parodi, who has joined late, and we've had Parodi and we've had Joris, who's also joined late. So we've actually had 2 more drivers, and Hassith. So we've actually had 3 drivers join late to this, which is, it's lucky for them, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Well, we are about to get going now. Somebody's playing around with the timer. But yeah, we are. It's lucky at the moment because it's lucky that we've gotten a couple more drivers because, of course, for you guys it's more action. For us, it's more action. And so, if you guys are enjoying today's stream, please think about subscribing to PSGL, leaving a like. Also, there's a link down in the description below to join our Discord server if you want to get commentating or if you want to get racing like these guys that we're about to do right now. Also, go and check out GT Omega, as I believe there's a current discount on a couple of things if you use the code PSGL. So,
5% off.
we're back here. We're back into the qualifying once again. It's the second time round, third lobby of the day, but we are back. And so, it's time to have talk a bit about how you think that, well, the importance of position with this track, because we know with tracks like Monaco, position is key. But around Bahrain, it's a strange thing, because if you start 10th, you could still finish 4th or 3rd. But if you seem to start maybe, 8th or 7th, you seem to struggle more. And so, for me, it's a big question, is there just sort of dead spots where you almost seem to just struggle? Or is it just me?
Probably just you. Anything is really possible. As qualifying is underway, it does say Q1, but it is only a short qualifying. But yeah, I mean, you just want to start highest as possible. You can do whatever strategy you'd like, but I mean, who doesn't want to start first or second? So,
I believe we have our first car coming out on track. It is Ashbest. I'm not sure what flag that is. I'm good with flags, but I actually don't know this time. But the first driver that is actually coming out is FXR Javier Domine, I believe. That's how you have to say it. I'm sorry if I've really ruined your name. But here he is in that beautiful Williams livery. We all agree it is a beautiful livery on this year's game. This outlap is going to be important because we know with Bahrain, although it is like warm, it's a warm track. It just, your tires don't seem to do well around this track, if I'm being honest.
yeah. And also quickly on Ash, a special request by him earlier on, right at the beginning of last week, to only say Ash. So we're not gonna go with Ash Best, just Ash. We're gonna go with that one.
It would have been nice if you told me, but that's okay.
Special. I mean, I thought you'd see it, but no worries.
No,
worries.
he never messaged me.
No worries. Only once you've said that, so he'll forgive you. We'll stick with Ash for the rest of this. So yeah, gonna be interesting and gonna be exciting to see what he can do.
We've already got some wheel-to-wheel racing already.
Oh, to the inside, making some overtakes, kind of what we usually see in a Formula 2 and Formula 3 qualifying, getting some overtakes done, fighting over track position, who wants to start where, and I think, is he going to go for another one? To the inside once again, and yeah, he wants a bit of a quicker outlet, while others taking a bit more easier, but yes, in some of the social races, I do remember Ash and Hassett, those are the 2 drivers that do come to mind from the social races I've done, so the rest are completely unknown to me, but we will learn the names as we go. But here we go with Ash beginning his lap towards turn 1.
So here we go, down onto the straight, DRS enabled. He needs all the speed he can get, Ash into turn 1, braking roughly around 110, 120 meters, locks the rears quite a lot, does a bit of drifting, but on this year's game, it seems to make you go around turn 1 faster. But I would say definitely that's a good first set of corners. Now into turn 4, of course, we've seen some great battling, especially between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen back in 2021, where Lewis Hamilton would go on to win the Grand Prix. He ends off Sector 1 with a 28.368. I have no chance of ever beating that time. But now down into this tough corner. I have to say it's quite a difficult corner. You can get some rear locking now up into the most difficult corner on track. Uphill now, quickly downhill into this tight hairpin. We've seen some drivers try to drift it. Ash does try to drift it, doesn't go exactly right. But back to DRS for the final time. Ash will get it for this lap for a full section of DRS now into the last couple of corners. The fastest corner on track, this long right-hander. Everybody loves this long right-hander. Using some of the inside curb now. Onto another bit of a tough corner, a bit of a blind corner, if I'm being honest. Now onto the last straight, Ash will have to face before he reaches the line. And onto the last two corners now. Into the last proper corner on track. The right-hander keeping it as close as possible to the track limits, but keeps it a bit more safe for this lap. Now up to the line, crosses the line at 1 minute 28.052 for first lap. What a lap for Ash.
Yep, getting a good lap straight away. Slotting into second is momentarily was Javla, and then we have Zal, I think, who slots into second position. Alessandro in fifth, but right to the top of the table goes momentarily Gel Tech, and then 610 takes it away with a 1 minute 27.770. So these laps will get faster, and faster. We'll see if anyone else is finding some time. Let's see what Hassett can do as he rounds the last corner. DRS will go open. What can the Alpine driver do as he sends it over the line? Goes to 7th position. So the lap's already starting to come in. So that was also, I think there was just an improvement by one of the drivers. Might have just missed that one. But yeah, quite a few improvements coming in. Quite a few laps straight away. And I say improvements. Wrong choice of words there, because that's what we're going to get. These are just the banker first few laps, so we'll be getting more improvements coming, though, later on in the session. In a few minutes, these drivers will head back to the pits, get on a new set of tyres, and go out once again. So, but currently, right at the front, it's 610 with the advantage.
Very good there from Sixton, as we see Joris go quite close to Sixton there for a lap, and we see our previous race winner in the Haas, the quite strange Haas livery in my opinion, only 5th and quite far off of first. And I understand that this is, the first run of qualifying, but that's a big gap, I have to say, between first and, especially even just first and fourth. There's a very big gap. I expect that to close up, but I feel like I said before, this seems to be one of Sixton Lindhart's strong tracks. Maybe it is once again, and maybe he is proving himself.
Yeah, and obviously there will be a lot of improvements to come, and the gap will get closer. But Dow surely will have more time to find. He might be better off in the race. It's all gonna be. It's all a bit of a question mark to all of us. What is gonna happen? We're gonna have to find out, because obviously we didn't get to see the race. We only got to see the results. It was Felipe who took pole position last time out in qualifying here at. It was at Brazil. Now we are at Bahrain. But anything, as we'll keep saying, is possible. 610 currently with the advantage. Joris will be ill. It'll be interesting to see if he'll be able to come back later on. And then there's a few drivers, like, for example, Adam. And then we have Jared and Antoni. Is that we're going to go for Antoni?
Sokolowski.
Also on his outlap.
Sokolowski. He's got a lot. I think he's got a chance. I've seen him in other series. He's a good driver. I haven't seen him in PSGL before, but I do feel like, don't quote me on that. I do feel like he could be a strong driver for this race. I think for this qualifying, his qualifying is definitely something that Sokolowski has on his side. If you want to take this lap, as there isn't really anybody else on track, here's your chance.
Yep. Here we go then. making his way around the penultimate, then the final corner, but it's really the last challenge for you, the braking zone, but DRS will go open and then you head down towards turn 1. You're already focused on the braking zone coming up and setting up then the exit into turn number 4. So go on the brakes then, and then now you're all ready to turn the car in a tiny bit wide in there, but now as he gets on the power through 2, through 3, and then towards turn number 4 with DRS open, he'll go to the outside line once again, try carry speed through 4, and then he'll go on the brakes, get back on the power, run it right to the edge of the circuit, and then you'll go into turn 5, 6, 7, all of them coming at you very, very quickly. Car ahead hopefully will get out of the way. That was very, very tight though. The Aston Martin there getting just a tiny bit, even the slightest margins can distract the driver. Now going into the very, very, very tricky turn number 10. You want to get it slowed down. You don't want to lock up. Very easy to do so, though. So we are going to be seeing maybe someone doing a Fernando Alonso move in the race later on. And then turn number 11. If someone does send it to you, send it on you at turn number 10, you can do the switch back and fight back into 11. And then it leads into another very hard corner of turn number 12. Foot to the floor then as he heads into the braking zone of turn number 13. So here we go. Take it once again right to the edge of this racetrack, over the curb for him, and now he'll be making his way towards the final corner of the racetrack. Final 2 corners, if we are going to count the final corner, but really isn't too much of a challenge. Over the curb he goes, and now let's see as he sends it over the line. Where is he going to go? He stays in 16th. So here, obviously now he has a lap time on the board, but he has definitely more time to find with that one, but there's a lot of other drivers who have time to find. As Sixten about to begin his lap.
Yeah, let's go on board. Let's watch Sixten. Sixten's actually gone for a second out lap here. So here he comes. We're gonna just watch off board for now. I think that is best. Coming down into turn 1, that Mercedes does look striking. Sixten Lintott has made that Mercedes work this season. He got 4th last time round in Brazil. I think he's hoping for even better this time round. I bet he's going to be hoping for possibly a top position, possibly getting on the podium. That is his aim, obviously. Good first sector, 300s up, strong first sector, but still not the fastest on the grid. Very interesting there that, you know, only 300s up, lots of traffic getting in the way as well, which could affect him, but he doesn't seem too slowed down by it. We might see if he pushes off or not. But I have to say that Mercedes livery does make it look like a dark horse to this PSGL season. Now coming round the long left-hander to be followed by an even longer right-hander. As we see Zalan go 3rd and Javier go 4th. Just want to get that in. And now coming down onto the last full straight before the last 2 corners. Very strong lap so far. He was about half a tenth up, about a tenth and a half. So there's some time there, but up to the line and across the line, he goes just 1/10 faster, loses. It gains a bit of time. He actually gained about 100th in the last sector, so very good there. And this actually supports Sixten Lintott even more, that he's currently on a strong run.
Yeah, on a brilliant run so far. Joris, I should say, beginning his lap now. But Adam in 4th as well. He was able to slot in. But we're now going to be able to see exactly what the Ferrari can do. Is still in 2nd position after all of the drivers behind finish their laps. Sixten increases his advantage right at the front of the field. Joris, though, is going to try and go with him. We're going to see what the first sector time is looking like for the Ferrari man. He is finding time currently through the first sector, so he just needs to keep it going, gain even more time. And let's see, he does have a car ahead of him, so hopefully that car will get out of the way, and then he'll be able to continue. It looks to be either it's Williams, so it's Williams ahead. And hopefully you'll just get out of the way. But DRS open now, once again, towards turn number 11. You're going to place the car more on the curb, but you want to keep it in track limits. Run to the edge, the perimeter of this racetrack. Get back on the power. Now we'll see what he's looking like through the 2nd sector as he tries to go even faster. And he's still up. He is still up. But the question is he going to be able to beat Sixten on this lap? We have Dale, who is slotted into 2nd position as well. So now we're focused though on Joris to see what he is able to do. Coming out of now the final corner, he's wide and he's invalidated that one, so he'll dive it in. That's going to be it for his run, so he has more to do. But you did say Dale was a tiny bit more back, but he's now back over right to the front and in contention. So it's going to be a very interesting last run with Joris also in contention as well.
And Hassith has just gone 10th. Also, we missed somebody, a big one. From our last race winner in Brazil, Deha, has just gone 2nd. But he is still about a 10th off of Sixten Linthart here, which is, I have to say, it's pretty big. You know, that's still a pretty big gap. You know, we've seen last race it was a lot closer. I know this track is quite a bit longer, but even then, still, it's quite a big gap compared to the gaps between the rest of the grid. So, I mean, Joris almost had that one there. I would say, you know, with all respect, Joris could have, in my opinion, gotten that lap and possibly taken provisional pole, because that was a lap that was coming together very well.
It does put him though more under pressure here on these final few, on this final run. So more pressure on for him as they all now return back to the pits. They're gonna get on a new set of softs and they're gonna be ready to push for their final run. So we have Gennard still in the pit lane. He hasn't come out, so it looks like he'll be doing a bit of a last to first. The whole field except one driver and Tony all in 1 second of each other, 7/10 between Alessandro and Sixten, just over that. But the rest of the field, you just need to find a marginal improvement, and you could find yourself improving a few places. But at the front of the field, you'll have to find at least 1/10 if your name is Daha. So last race's winner is going to be trying to start this race from the front of the grid. So going to be interesting. Zalan, currently the first car, and also Alessandro out there as well. They're both currently out there. Alessandro, I believe, is about to begin his lap. But however, we are going to have Zalan pushing on as well. It's very, very soon once he's finished his outlap. But here we go with Alessandro making his way down towards turn number 1. Let's see what he is able to do. And he's going to have to find a better time. And he just needs to find maybe about a few tenths. He just needs to find a few tenths and he could find himself somewhere in that 8th, 7th. But he is a tiny bit more off the field. So he'll probably want to get involved in some of the 3/10 battles. And hopefully he'll be hoping at least a 2/10 battle as well. The track currently better for him, but it'll get even better when the other drivers start coming out for them. And he is finding some time to the first sector, marginal, but through the second and third sector, he'll have to work even more harder if he wants to get anywhere into that top 10.
Yeah, definitely. At the moment, remember that sector 1, from remembering it, he's only about a 10th or 2 off of the fastest, so he's not massively off of the fastest there. So, compared to the rest of the grid, he's actually got one of the fastest Sector 1 times, I would say. But at the moment, he needs to have a very strong Sector 2, like you said, and a Sector 3. He is a 10th and a half up, which will put him up at the moment into 15th, ahead of his teammate, NLR Rookie. But if he can find at least 3/10, he will find himself 14th, but he needs to find a lot of time here. He did seem to have a lock-up last lap on his best lap, so up to the line, there he goes. He does go 10th. You guessed it right. You guessed it completely right. Looking to the next driver who's on a lap, Zalan on a lap. He's got a few people in the way. He is still pushing on his lap. A bit risky to push still on a lap with this much traffic around, especially in the first sector. 20 seconds earlier and he would have been stuck behind all of that lot. Now coming down through sector 2 off of this long straight. That small straight, everybody, I think it's one of the most underrated straights because you can overtake there. I think people say that you can't, but you definitely can.
Yeah, you definitely can indeed. But we are currently watching, or I'm currently watching, fourth place runner Zalan. Currently, as it stands, he'll though be chasing a better lap time with just over 1 minute to go. Soon it will become under 1 minute. Very wide there for Zalan, I have to say though. Not invalidated though. Let's see what he can do as he comes over the line, improves his time, but does not improve his position. So wasn't able to find the time there. But there's a lot of cars who are going to be queuing up now, right at the right near the end of the lap, trying to make overtakes. We currently have Joris making a few overtakes as he wants the best track position for his final lap, because this is it then. They're all going to have to produce it now, and if you weren't able to get a good first lap, you're going to have to deliver it now here in the final run.
Yeah, and the first man across the line is Adam Lundqvist. Lundqvist, who's the first driver here, top 5. All of the top 5 seem to be some of the first drivers across the line. So they all want to get out there. You know, we got Adam and Sixten Linthart, which are the front two. And then just behind the next Mercedes, then behind him is also Dehar. So they're all very close to each other at the moment. Now, Lundqvist, but not a great first sector. He was down by about 400ths. There's a crash on track. Somebody's knocked out a brake marker, which doesn't help the drives at all. I don't believe is allowed either. Now, into Sector 2, he is a 10th down. He's got to have a massive Sector 3 here, which is going to be very difficult as there is only one corner, one proper corner, I would say. A corner that is challenging in Sector 3. Let's see what Adam Lundqvist can do round the last corner. He is going into the pits. He's decided it is not worth it. Next driver to cross the line is our current provisional pole sitter. Sixten Linthart improves by almost 0.2 of a second with a 1 minute 27.5. Let's have a look. Dehar can't improve on that. So no improvement from Dehar. Sixten Linthart's teammate, Mattia, across the line, does go up into 6th. I believe Geltech is next. Geltech is crossing the line. And here comes Geltech up to the line. 5th place for Geltech. Good lap there. We see some drivers going into the pits. Quite premature for some drivers to be coming into the pits very early on in the session. Joris! Joris improves to 2nd. He just beat by 0.003 of a second to get 2nd place over Dehar. And I believe that is everybody. That is it for our qualifying session. What a session, what an end.
What an end indeed, but no one was able to challenge 610 right at the front of the field. He'll lead the field away with Joris in 2nd position. Dehar, basically, I think, soon as he saw that lap time with a massive improvement by 6, I think Dehar was just like, I'm not being that. Let's just come in to the pits. But what an incredible session, as you just said. It's going to give us a brilliant race. But usually someone might be ahead in qualifying, but in the race they remain in a bit of a DRS strain. So it's not going to be fully over. We could be getting a battle right at the front.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you there. Now, here is the rundown from qualifying. The man on pole position, the man who got 4th last race, Sixten Linthart, is here in Bahrain, and he set a 1 minute 27.5 as the benchmark. Joris is 2nd. Dehar, our last race winner, is 3rd. Zalan 4th. Geltech 5th. Adam 6th. Mattia 7th. Javier 8th. Zach 9th. Alessandro Finn 10th, Hassith 11th, Floor 12th, Ash 13th, Elliot Norin 14th, Parodi 15th, Rookie 16th, Zokolowski 17th, and Janej Dovsen is in last for this race, sadly for him. Now, race strategy, what do you think it's going to be?
I think we could see a tiny bit of a split here. I think we could be getting some drivers on the soft, some on the medium, some on the hard, which will give us a very, very, very exciting start of the race. So it's going to be interesting to see what the drivers go for, but going to be super, super exciting here at the race start. And I think we could be seeing a lot of different strategies here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm saying we could be seeing a couple of drivers start on hards or mediums, possibly softs. Potentially softs are there. To be used, possibly soft, medium, soft, potentially hard to medium or medium to hard as well for the strategy. That's usually how it goes. It's a 1-stop or a 2-stop Of course, safety cars, or virtual safety cars, are also a big thing, but mainly safety cars. Go on, give me your prediction for race winner today.
I'll just go with 610. He is our pole sitter, so I think someone could deny him, but I don't want to look stupid at the end of this. 610 has dominated qualifying, so if I do say 610, then no one can have a go at me. But here we go then. 3, 4, 5 red lights. And the Bahrain Grand Prix is go. Good reaction time by 610, who will maintain the lead into turn 1. Deha is going to have to slot behind Joris. Are we going to be seeing any moves? Trying to go around the outside will be Joris into turn 1. And it's going to be diving to the inside there. Also looking for a move is Zalan trying to get past Deha as they make their way through the opening corners of the race. 610, exactly what he wanted. He maintains the lead from the front of the field. So it looks to be hard for the top 6. Can Alexander Finn make a move on also on those medium compound tires? Mattia making his way past and up into 5th place as they all go through the opening corners. Will they all make their way through? Looks like Hassett was trying to make a move on Zach, could not do anything with it, as now he's going to be under pressure because around the outside goes Iliot, trying to go right around the outside. Won't be able to get the move done there. But if we look at the order, Joris is still close to 610, but the order is 610, Joris, Deha, the top 3.
Yeah, very good start. A lot of battling further back as I saw Sokolowski off, and there's some battling between Elliot Noren and Hassett at the moment in that Alpine car. Still a lot of battling going on further back. Parodi trying to make a move on Ash. Still too wide. Further back between this lot. Coming round the outside. What can Daniel Parodi... Oh, some contact. Some contact. I believe that is Rookie, who is now at the back. Not sure if NLR Rookie has damage or not. Let me get my couple of things up. We've missed some of them. Tire-wise, I can't... Oh, no. Can't get the tires up. Okay, so biggest losers and winners off of lap 1. Is there any moves happening? Yes, there is. As Geltec loses out to Alessandro Finn and loses out as well to Javier Domine. Oh, not a good start from him. Adam as well, having a very bad start. He starts 6th. He's now down in the position of 11th. Fighting with Hassith over, ultimately, he's fighting over 11th. I don't know what I'm saying. But, so ultimately the biggest winners from that was Alessandro Finn and Elliot Noren, both up 4 places. What a strange start. As we see, first drive to get a penalty today. Sokolowski. 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Ugh.
Yeah, all kicking off as that was, I think, Geltec right in the background just running a tiny bit wide over the curb, but they are all finally starting to calm down. It was absolutely frantic right at the final few corners. We have Ash right under tail of Antoni, who's just been given a time penalty. So is he going to be looking for a move? Still close, right to the front of the field. Is currently sliding into the back. Ash super late on the brakes, trying to stick on the back of Antoni, but giving a little tap, just a little tap. But we're now gonna have to look a tiny bit ahead because it looks like we could be having some action down into turn number 1. Mattia will surely go for this one. Joris had a chance last lap, but he couldn't get the move done on 610. Zalan will cover the inside line. Go the long way around, he says to Mattia. Will Mattia be able to do so as we head into turn 1? He'll have the outside line, but we're going to have a move for the lead. Here we go. 610 versus Joris. 610 maintains that one. What will happen is we also have Jernage out of the race, but we currently focus on the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. And are we going to be going 3 wide to the inside line? We'll go. Finn, will he be able to get the move done? No. Instead, it'll be Mattia to go to the inside. He'll get that move done. And also following through as well is Javeler. So many different battles already in this race. And now can Finn on those mediums dive to the inside? Can he make a late lunge? He has Geltac for company right in the background as well. Also watch Lundi Quist going wheel to wheel with Iliot as we now head towards turn number 10. Will Adam back out of it? Will he do the Fernando Alonso to the inside? No, he won't. He'll instead have to sit back and maybe go for it down this next straight. The car ahead also has DRS because he's in the 1 second as well. But here we go. Zach going to the inside of Geltec. Will Geltec keep his foot in? Yes, he will. And he'll keep 8th place. But incredible racing once again. And I think Javelin might dive it to the inside here of Mattia. No, he won't. But he's super close. He's stuck. He's glued right now to the back. And they're absolutely battling like crazy. I think we could be getting a move for the lead once again as they go through the final corner. And a tiny bit wide. But Joris getting a bit out of shape coming out of the final corner. So we'll see with DRS. Is Joris able to make the move this time around? Will 610 go on the defensive? Here we go into turn number 1 once again. 610 covers the inside line. Will Joris go around the outside, late on the brakes into turn 1. He has the edge ahead as we make our way through. The outside becomes the inside, becomes the race lead. Through goes Joris, Mattia, and Zalan still battling. Will Mattia be given room? Zalan forces him right to the edge of this racetrack, and they're also battling the lead as well. 610 trying to make the move. He won't be able to. As now Zaltan trying to go right around the outside. Zalan, can you do it? I've been saying Zaltan, but that's how much racing we have currently going on. Mattia will get the inside line on Finn, and will Mattia get the place? Finn has to back out of it before this contact. Incredible racing here in PSGL.
Yeah, definitely. Disappointing for Sixten Lindhart there. I do feel bad for the Mercedes driver. I felt like he really wanted to hold on to that lead for a bit longer. Of course, every driver does, but I felt like in qualifying he had the pace to hold on for a bit longer, but obviously he has struggled a bit more. But we're starting to see on track a bit of a gap coming between the front 3 and back down to 4th place, which is the Williams of Javier, currently 3.2 seconds, about 3.3 seconds now off of Dehar in 3rd place in the Haas. What a start, but also a bit unlucky for one driver who is far back, and that is Floor, currently last in the Williams, and also for NLR Rookie as well. Both of them far off for the pace and also far off of everybody else on track. But we've got to quickly return to the front because here comes Sixten Lindhart. He's coming with some speed into turn 1. He's not going for it, but Dehar is. Dehar wants to get a second victory. Is he going to try? Is he going to hold on to it? Maybe. It's getting close. There's some battling going on behind. We now look further back to Mattia and Alessandro Finn. Alessandro Finn makes a move on Mattia Ria for 6th place in this race, as we also see Ash overtake Hassith, I believe, as well as Floor puts in the fastest lap of this race today. But some action really going down towards more of the front of the mid-pack, reminding me of the 2021 F1 season here, as we see Parodi makes a move on Adam Lundqvist for 11th place. A bit of a... I didn't see that move exactly, but a bit of an unexpected place to see a move happen.
As I said earlier, they're making moves at every single opportunity they get here on lap number 5. About to go on to lap number 6. The battle for the lead will continue on as well. They'll debate all other positions on the racetrack, so we've got battles everywhere we look. That's Geltec getting a penalty, the first 3-second time penalty for track limits we have seen so far in this race. Second penalty overall though, but now we're going to look at the front of the field. Dale super close to 610, but he gets out of shape. Now, does 610 have a run with DRS open? He'll be gaining with every meter that we head towards turn 1, and will he pull out of the slipstream? Will Joris go on the defensive? Here we go with 610, gaining once again. He didn't look like he wanted to make the move last lap. Would he go for it this lap? Joris just a tiny bit wide into the braking zone of turn 1, but is he going to be able to hang on now as we head towards turn 4? 610 does have a lot of speed, but he doesn't seem like he's too desperate unless it's a slam dunk, so Joris will maintain the lead on this lap, and a bit more calmer so far, but Adam lurking to the inside, trying to overtake Parodi. Parodi got through 1 lap ago, but Adam trying to fight his way back past the Alfa Romeo driver, and we've got to stick with the battle because we could easily see a dive bomb going into the braking zone if he can get a good exit. Is anyone going to go for some moves, or are they all going to be well behaved this time through? Looks like they are all going to be well behaved here on lap number 6 out of 29, but yeah, it's gonna be so. Alessandro, I think, wanted to make a tiny bit more progress. Is also getting super close once again for the lead, but I think Alessandro Finn wanted to make much more progress from 6th position on those medium compound of tires, so he would have wanted to make the overtakes and probably be ahead of this queue of the drivers all battling for 4th position, but they are all losing time because they actually in the early stages they actually had some brilliant wheel-to-wheel racing where they were kind of edging each other out, which made them lose time. We have had some moves for the lead, but it hasn't cost them too much time. Are we going to be getting a move this time for the lead? 610 looks much more closer than he was last time around, and with a lot of straight line speed down into turn 1, he'll surely have a chance. Joris once again will need to defend this. He's going to have to back out, will 610, if he doesn't want to go for this. He doesn't want to go for the move. He's sitting back. I think Geltec might want this one on Mattia, trying to go now around the outside. Will he be later on the brakes into turn 1? Oh, a bit of a slide for him, which meant he couldn't get the move done. Now, are we going to be seeing this one continue to turn 4? Doesn't look like he will be able to. Alessandro on the back as well. Oh, he's ahead, so that's a bit of lag going on there, and Zalan is now wheel to wheel with Mattia. It's all kicking off, and Zalan now losing position to Mattia. Oh, he's round! Contact, he got a tap there from behind, and he's round, and contact already, and now, here we go for the move. Elliot trying to go around the outside, while Zach tries to dive to the inside of his teammate, while Elliot tries to mug them both and move up. Past 2 cars, he isn't able to get the move done there, but contact and aggressive driving once again now.
That's very unlucky for, Parodi having a bit of a problem. He's just dropped back 2 places now. Zalan, unlucky for Zalan there, honestly. That was an unlucky moment. Seems to be a ghosting issue for the Alfa Romeo man. We're seeing some battling going on between the McLarens, though. This is the battling we want to see. The number 6 and the number... Please show me the number. Number 67, I believe, of Geltec fighting over positions here. I think it's 67. I think it is, yes. As we see Daniel Parodi round. Alfa Romeo's day is just getting worse and worse and worse. And saying about that, another Ferrari power car of Joris is also having a bad day because he's just lost the lead of the race to none other than our pole position taker, Sixten Linthart. Is he going to look for it? Derhard is looking for it. We're looking at this from the back of Sixten Linthart's car. Let's see who's going to come out on top. Derhard gets past Joris as well. It's a double overtake for these two.
And the 2 McLaren still going wheel to wheel, super close to contact. Battles everywhere we look. This is what we love in PSGL, but the 2 McLarens really battling out, not giving each other too much room. They went wheel to wheel all the way through turn number 11 on the last lap. Then through 12, they continued it through the high speed, and both of them already giving us, though, a lot of action. And off the road, there goes the Mercedes. It looked to be Mattia. Off the road, the yellow flags are out. Yeah, yellow flags, and there's another car off the road in the back, and is that the Alfa Romeo? Looks to be, but we're going to have to keep an eye on the lead, because Darren might want to take this one. Let's join Antoni, as he now gets the move done on Zalan, having a bit of issues there, losing a few places due to a bit of lag, and causing a bit of the chaos and all of the bunching up from the field. So here we go. He's now looking for the move on Antoni, as Antoni is fully out of shape, and that'll be an easy pass for Zalan. When he gets on the throttle, he'll find himself, or will he? It looks like we're going to see Zalan keep his foot in around the outside, but we're going to have to focus on the race lead as well, because it looks like they're about to go wheel to wheel, and if Dare doesn't make the move, Joris is going to absolutely go for it as well. Now, does Deha get a good run, or is he going to sit back? Also move for 4th place. Through goes Javla, getting past Alessandro Finn, who might have a chance to fight back. We won't get a change for the lead. We'll watch there and see if we're going to get a move for 4th. Alessandro going to the inside line. Does he get the move done as he head into turn 4? Yes, he does. Later on the brakes, but he's wide. It opens the door to try and fight back. Jalva, does he go to the inside? Oh, would have been mighty, but couldn't get the move done. Zalan still battling away there and getting the move done to move up past the Ferrari driver. We cut away from that one, because we have to focus on obviously the lead, but once again, we'll keep saying it, but battles everywhere you look.
Yeah. Now, this is the big question, is that people are burning their tyres by fighting. You're seeing the front 3, they're reducing their amount of fighting because they don't want to waste tyre wear. They don't want to get extra tyre wear because of it, but nobody else is doing that. So potentially are the front 3 going to get an even bigger gap because they're saving their tyres?
Yeah, they're also battling away for fourth very aggressively, I have to say. While for the lead, they're making a bit of easy passes and not losing too much time. So, yeah, it does really seem that way. But Dare is looking close, but they do get close, but then they just get a very bad exit. And it does look like the Mercedes of 610 also does have some good straight line speed. But let's see, the DRS is a bit more powerful. Now, can Dare make the move into turn one? He's going to have to back out. But the problem he's got is, if he doesn't go for it, Joris will surely move up, because it seems like the man in third, if the driver in second is backing off, then we're seeing a move from the driver in third to move up to second, but we are seeing moves everywhere else. We look, Javelin versus Alessandro Finn, and out of the race goes Zalan in the pit lane though. So that will be all good. We won't see any safety cars or virtual safety cars with that one. Can Adam make the move to the inside? He'll go off Geltech, late on the brakes. No, he can't. Can't send it in there, but wide for Geltech. Opens the door for Adam to go to the inside line. Is he able to send his way through? He wasn't fully alongside. If he put a nose in there, he was risking contact. You need to be about fully alongside if you want to dive to the inside. So the other car does know and does kind of back out of it a tiny bit, but Adam wasn't fully alongside. So he made a correct decision and backed out of that one, but Finn has now basically glued himself. Finn has now glued himself into this battle for fourth. And then Mattia, Ilya at this current stage, Mattia only, because Ilya does have Zach and his teammate Geltech and Adam behind as well. But looks like Mattia having a bit of a quiet race. Cannot be said though for a lot of the other drivers, because Sixten is being chased all the while by Dare, but I think Dare is more worried of Joris overtaking. And you could easily see contact between these pair, as this Sixten, has he gone a tiny bit wide? Oh, he's lost everywhere coming out of the final corner. Now, Joris is close, so is Dare. What's going to happen is we head into turn one, because Joris will be gaining all the while. So will Dare. Sixten will cover the inside line. He'll try to, but Dare gets there anyway. Dare to the inside line. Can he take the lead as we head into turn one? Yes, he can. He's got through, and now does it open the door? Alessandra Finn moving up to fourth, but does it open the door now for Joris to try and fight back, or will it be Sixten to fight back? He'll have to go to the outside line through turn four, unless he can switch it to the inside. Doesn't look like we're going to get a change once again. Dare, now Sixten, and then Joris, who is just waiting, and then as soon as he senses a chance, he will send it and go for the move.
Yeah, also, let's have a quick rundown of the driver's tyres, because this is probably going to say something. Everybody is on hards except for 4 drivers. That is Alessandro Finn, also NLR rookie, Ash, and Floor. Now, Ash has just recently put on tyres, but still, that is saying a lot, isn't it? That possibly Alessandro Finn's going to run out of pace quite soon because those tyres are struggling, because they are mediums. Yeah.
But still, it goes on for the lead, and it just looks like will Sixten be able to get this one back now. And it's just going to be changes on changes on changes on changes. And we also have Alessandro Finn on a different strategy to the drivers around him. So he's going to be going a tiny bit different. But let's see, are we going to be getting a move? They are running a tiny bit wide out today through the final corner, which is opening the door a tiny bit. Now, here we go once again towards turn one. Does Dare cover the inside line, or will it be Sixten? Pulling out of the slipstream, making an easy pass to the inside line. Joris is also following through. To the inside line he goes. Does he get the move done? Yes, he does. Later on the brakes, and Dare, understandably backed out of that one, did not want to risk any kind of contact in that one. So it's now 6-10, Joris and Dare. This one just keeps changing around, doesn't it, Epic?
Yeah, definitely. This is something that we need to have. We love the battling like this. 3-way battle for the league. We haven't seen this at Bahrain for a couple of years. So it's always nice to have. But I have to say, this is something that Sixten Linthart needs. He needs other drivers to be battling. For instance, second and third to be battling between each other and not battling with him. Because this is just allowing him to just stay out in front and pull out a tiny bit more of a lead. Because we went from seeing it, maybe a tenth or so, to now it's sitting at about 4/10, which isn't much bigger, but it's still something, as we see Sokolowski get another 3-second penalty. He's now up to 6 seconds worth of penalties. But we've also had 2 retirees today. That is Zalan and also Jernej as well for 18th. Who's currently last. He was the first driver to DNF. He also didn't put in a qualifying lap either. But as we're talking about drivers who are struggling, another driver that is struggling is none other than our man Joris at the moment. He's struggling a bit to make his way through on the other drivers. But I say that, he's now right behind Sixten Linthart. Here comes Joris. He goes to the outside. He goes for more of the risky line. Now down towards turn 1. Is Sixten Lintar going to try and keep it in? No, he isn't. He's going to follow close behind, getting the DRS. Here comes Joris. Joris now takes the lead of the Grand Prix once again. It's been the first time in about 10 laps that he's actually led this race. So it's taken him a while to get back to it. But he is back. Oh, contact! It's a big slide because of contact between him and Sixten Lintart. That was very close to being a spin.
It was very, very close to both of them ruining their races, and Dare saying thank you very much, as Antonio out of the race in the pit lane as well. But yeah, that was a moment where all three drivers glued to the back of each other, all trying to remain close, all pushing right to the edge, and then finding themselves tapping each other. Now, does Sixten have a chance? Down towards turn 11. He's gonna have to back. He's not gonna go for that one. And even though he was close enough. But I think he's preferring the main straight passes, or he's not preferring any of them. But there is a point where you have to make the move, because Deha in third will just dive to the inside, and you kind of want to be second on the road as well. So it looks like, obviously, second place man on the final lap. That's going to be interesting as well. On the penultimate lap, going on to the final lap, is going to be super, super interesting. But we still have a long way to go till that. We're currently focused on this battle that they're keeping us entertained till we get to the pit stops. Usually a race is a bit quiet until we get to the pit stops, but not this one, because there's action everywhere you look. Now, does Sixten have a chance? Will Joris cover it off? And now Joris knows that there is nothing he can do. Look at the speed as Sixten goes into turn 1, but what he will try to do is keep Dale behind, who's trying to go right around the outside. He'll get on the throttle, and when he does so, he's still side by side with Joris, who is not giving an inch, and now they're going to be going wheel to wheel towards turn number 4. Will we see Dale dance all the way around the outside? Will it be an absolute mighty move? He's going to keep his foot in, trying to go around the outside. He'll be pushed off if he tries that, and he keeps his foot in. But Joris gets the place once again. Brilliant battling. And Sixten has just got that. Now, you might call it. It's still 4/10. But I guess just that slight advantage and how close they've been, with how glued to each other they've been. I guess a bit of breathing space finally for Sixten, even though it is 4/10.
Yes, definitely. And I've got to say, we've gone through the first 10 laps of the race, and it was all the action was coming from the midfield, and now it's been quiet, and now all the action is coming from the front. It seems like a bit of a sequence, but like you said, Sokolowski also retires from this race, third retiree of today's race, which is disappointing. We hate to see it, because it means we've got 3 less drivers who could be racing out there, but it is their decision, of course. So now coming down, once again, Sixten Lintart. We've got to talk about this man, because he's been almost the most intelligent one out of the 3, because he's been playing this game of waiting. And here he comes. Is he going into the pit? He's going in, and so is Deha. Joyce decides not to. Ooh. Javier gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Here he comes into the pits. Let's see, can Sixten Lintart, the race leader, get a good stop? He does. He gets a very good stop there. That's got to be around 2 seconds. He gets still back out in front of his rival Deha. He's got a bit of a better lead, I have to say, over Deha at the moment, which is good, as they're down to 8th and 9th, which isn't bad, actually, in the field to be 8th and 9th after just 15 laps. We've seen closer fields than this. But now, this is the big question. How well can Sixten Lintart do on his out lap, but also how well can Joris do if he pits this lap? Because if he makes any sort of mistake, if he chooses to stay out for a bit longer and try to go to the softs, he could make a massive mistake, and he could lock up, he could cause something that will lose him time. But we also know on this year's game, the overcut is not as powerful as it was last year. And so could this mean that people are still trying to play with the overcut, which does confuse me slightly, as it is probably, I'd say, about half as powerful as last year. It's not so much 50-50 anymore. It's more 80-20 when it comes down to it, with 20% being the overcut. And so I have to say, will we see Joris get into this, into the pits? Yes, he is. Here he comes. Let's see. We're going to watch him as he comes into the pits. We're going to watch on board, see where he is. We're actually going to go over to his rival Sixten Lintart. We're going to watch on board from Sixten Lintart, see if he's done a good enough lap to get out in front and possibly gain time over Joris. Let's see. Joris did get a bit held up in the pits by another car. Here comes Sixten Lintar. He's got DRS. He's got everything. He does get past Joris for second for the net lead at the moment. He has got him. Dehar also gets past. But it's a big lead for Sixten Lintart. He's 2 seconds ahead of everybody else.
He has left Daha. He's left Daha. He's left Joris, who went a bit different. And as you said, Overcut not playing here in his favor. You have to do something absolutely extraordinary if you want to be able to pull off the overcut strategy. He wasn't able to, and now now Sixten with the advantage and with all the other drivers not having DRS. I think personally Sixten might dominate this one, but it's PSGL. Safety cars, so many different things are possibilities. Rookie is out of the race in the pit lane though, so kind of got me excited as I mentioned safety cars. But here we go, Deha out of the slipstream, just getting past Parodi, who is on those hard compound tires, so easy moves being made at this stage currently, as obviously old hard tires for Parodi, nothing he can do. And then that's Ash being passed by Elliot, who's moving up to 9th position in this race, and they're all very, very close. But other than now, the race lead. 2 seconds is the gap that Deha now has to work and close in on Sixten if he wants to be contending in this race. And you can see Deha has a tiny bit less ERS, and that's not a surprise because Sixten is putting in mega sectors, and Deha has a lot of work to do. He wants to now take over, and he wants to lead once again in this race and challenge for victory.
Yes, very much. Here's the big question now, is that, what's going to happen? Because if Dehar pushes, he then could be attacked by Joris. But if Sixten pushes, he could be attacked by both Dehar and Joris. But if Dehar pushes, then he can be attacked by Joris. But if Joris pushes, he falls back. So for basically any of them, if they push too much, they're going to lose out some way. And so in the end, we might actually see... I hate to spoil it for some people, but this might be the way it finishes because there's such a big gap. 2.2 seconds now. That's not going to be an easy thing, especially with Joris closing up to Dehar.
Wow, safety cars are possibilities around this venue. Joris, though, is on the back. He has DRS, so we are going to be getting a move for 2nd position at least. And it is not impossible. Maybe Sixten is pushing a tiny bit too much at this stage of the race. Maybe it comes back to the other two later on. If they can maybe just stick together in a DRS and kind of work together to get onto the back of Sixten, will make it very, very interesting. But 2.3, as you said, it will need something mighty from both of these drivers, Joris and Dow. They'll need to pull off something mighty. Joris, though, is going to pull out of the slipstream on this occasion, and he's going to take 2nd position in this race. He gets past Dow, who will surely stay in the wheel tracks and try and fight back. But I think Joris more focused now on the race lead, and I think Dow at this stage will also be as well. We had some brilliant battling here between Ash, Hassett, and Matar going on just earlier on. Hassett then making the move, and that's going to be Gel Tech rejoining the road with cold tyres. Hassett, though, with warm tyres. So now will Hassett be able to make the move around the outside? It could be a move around the outside of turn 4. Gel Tech, will he go defensive? Yes, he will. Hassett will have to go around the outside. He'll have March. His tyres are warmed up. We could see it around the outside, but Gel Tech will surely get his elbows out. He runs it to the edge of the circuit. Ash also staying in behind as well. So let's see. Can Hassett now get a good exit? Can he dive to the inside here? Will it be a late send to the inside? No. So he's just going to wait. He's going to stay behind. But this all the while he stays behind. Gives Geltech more time to warm up his tyres, which then gets him back into the working range. But I have to say, 1.5 seconds, so maybe Joris is really going for it. And he's got 6/10 over Dare. So we haven't really seen the gap get that big out of all in the DRS trains. Obviously now with DRS, Dare will close a tiny bit back in. But 1.5, so I think Joris is really on it here.
Definitely. I do, although I have seen he's used about 20% of his EOS on this last lap, which isn't helping. But he's also pulling Derhar along.
It's crucial, though, to be inside the 1 second. The DRS is very powerful, so if you can just get inside the 1 second, I think it'll be pretty much worth it. Because we have seen previously, also the social race I did with you the other day, if we look at the ERS, 610 is losing a lot of ERS as well. You just need to close up to the back of your round. Now 610's pushing a tiny bit more, so really I have to say it's not too much of a difference ERS-wise between 610 and Joris. It might just be tires maybe a bit at the end, but if he can play this right, he could absolutely be in contention. 1.1 second, the gap is closing in, so I think this will be worth it, because then when he does get the DRS, 610 will need to use a bit of ERS. He was a bit wide, I have to say, Joris a tiny bit there, but went up to 1.2, but he's almost in there, so even if he does, so I think he can waste 610's ERS. And already I have to say, 610's ERS isn't the best. Obviously, Joris is still pushing on, and you can see it's in now inside 1 second. So he has been able to make the gap down to 1 second. So ignore what we were saying earlier on about maybe he's pushing a tiny bit. It'll be very hard. It'll be very tricky. Well, he's just gone and done it just a few laps after we said that. Later on in the race, it's a question mark about how his tyres will last, how that will go. But the crucial thing for now is if he can get track position, if he can play it right with the DRS. I think even if he does lose a bit of tyre wear, he can absolutely pull this one off. As we see Parodi get past Floor to move up into 13th.
Very good. I do feel like at the moment it's very stagnant between everybody at the moment. I think it's because at the moment it's because everybody's just trying to get to the end of the race. I don't think anybody wants to risk it any further than that. But if we look back towards Zach Miles, I believe, and Elliot Noren has just made the move for 6th. And here comes Adam out of nowhere in the green Aston Martin. What a move into turn 1. I mean, I've got to give that for braking. That was one of the best some of the best braking I've seen in a while. But well done to Adam and Elliot there for getting those moves. Very important for both of them because they're running about 3-4 tenths a lap faster than currently Zach, which is a big gap. That's very big, especially per lap. But I have to say, it's been a good return for Adam, this race. He's had a good return. He was unlucky on lap 1. He didn't have the start he wanted. But he's come back a bit now. He's back to where he's meant to be.
Yep, he has, and Adam super late on the brakes, banging wheels with Zach on the run towards someone. We didn't really get to see how the move was, how far back was it, in a sense. So, if Zach does complain about it later on, because we don't really know if it was dirty or how was the move. I cut it to very late, so I wasn't able to tell. So just letting you know, just in case, if it was a bit of a dirty, late move. But we didn't really get to see it too much. But from what we saw, it was an absolute fantastic move. As he makes another one to the inside, he goes up into 6th place. And if we momentarily, if I cut to the lead quickly, it is closing in. But we won't get a move there. Elliot getting back ahead of Adam. Making the move at the final corner before the DRS detection zone. Did not work out for the Aston Martin driver. And he sees himself losing out to 1, very nearly 2, as we also have Zach trying to fight his way through. Can Parodi go to the inside line of Ash? Yes, he can. And she just runs the car slightly out wide at turn number 1 to make sure that Ash cannot fight back and not get a better exit towards turn number 4. So incredible stuff once again. But the battle for the lead, super tires Joris right glued up to the back. So it's still alive here in PSGL. This is going to go down right to the final stages.
I do feel though that Joris, I think all these front 3 have pushed too much too early to try and catch up to each other and try to stay ahead. That now the tyres are going to be getting burnt up even faster. And they could be struggling very soon because we know currently they're on about 5-6 lap old tyres at the moment. And so it isn't looking good for them. So let's say, for instance, Sixten Linthart, he needs to defend this place. He needs to keep hold of it. It's going to be difficult, but he's got to do it. Joris as well, he's got to make an overtake, but he can't lose out of place. Same for Deha. He's got to just overtake both of them. So I'd say Deha's got the easiest job, but here comes Joris. Is he going to do it? No, he isn't. We're riding on board with Joris in the Ferrari now. Coming out of turn 2, out of turn 3. Back on the DRS. Coming down onto the second straight. Here they come. As I've just seen there's a move between Adam Lundqvist and Elliot Norden. There isn't a move here, so we're going to look back. Yes, it has happened. ETA Adam has made a move on Elliot Noren for 6th, back to where he started today's race, which of course is a very nice thing to be at. It's taken him a while, it's taken him 22 laps, but he is back once again. But this is very close for the lead. This is probably the closest it's been since about lap 6. It's been very close so far. But one driver we have not spoken about in a long time is Alessandro Finn. This man's on his own.
Oh, he's on the halves, but he's on his own. He's currently on his own. Might get chased by Adam soon if he can stop fighting away with Ilya, which is fine for us. It's fine for us, but for their benefit, they probably want to be gaining, but they really aren't. Joris getting all out of shape there, which means he's lost a tiny bit of time. He's gone down to 4 tenths, and yes, you might say that's not a lot, but in this race, it's been 2 tenths for the majority of it. That's how close Dare is currently to the back of Joris. So are we going to be getting any moves into turn number 1 this time around? If not, we'll cut to some of the other battles with Elliot chasing at him. But at the front of the field, it's Joris chasing Sixten. And Sixten, will he cover it off? No, Joris looks for the move. Dare now trying to fight past the Ferrari driver. As we're making our way through 2 and turn number 3. Now, is there a chance for any one of them to make the move? Doesn't look like. So we'll cut over to the battle for 6 with Elliot to the inside line. And also keep an eye there on Zach trying to dive to the inside of Adam. Adam pulled that move on Zach a few laps ago. Now Zach trying to repay the favor and get this move done. This will continue down into turn 4. Will he be able to dive to the inside here? Or will we see Adam hold it around the outside? Keeps his foot in around the outside. Who gets the power down? Adam takes the place.
Very nice defending there from Adam, but he's lost time now to Elliot, about half a second, and he's still got to defend from Zach. It's closed up a lot more in this mid-pack now, and that's important to see. I've just realised somebody who's doing a bit of strange running in today's race. Floor. This man has not been closer than 20 seconds to anybody this race, and he's still going. He's not giving up on, he still thinks he might have a chance to win. He wants to keep the belief there. He doesn't want to let his hopes down. But I'll give it to him. At least he is still driving. At least he is still trying in today's race. As some other drivers decided not to. But back onto the pit straight. Back to Sixten, Lentart, Joris and Deha in their little 3-way battle going on. Now, down into turn 1. Not close enough for Joris. Oh, a bit late on the brakes. Trying to get a bit late on the brakes there, but doesn't work. Looks like a bit of a lock-up. Can Joris make the move? We're going to ride on board with Joris once again. We've done a lot of riding on board with Joris today. And he's not going to be able to make the move. But if we look further back to Geltech, he's just made the move on Zach for 8th place. So a very, very important move there for the McLaren driver. McLaren having a bit of a comeback now because they've struggled. Geltech struggled a bit. He didn't have a great pit stop. He was leading at one point. Remember, he led for 2 laps. He's now 8th. He was down in 12th. So he has come back through very nicely.
Yeah, he absolutely has. We obviously had that mega scrap between the 2 McLarens earlier on in the race where they went side by side through the park currently that the leaders are going through turn 11, and then they continued it all the way up the hill through 12, and then turn number 13. So the battle really, really went on for a few corners, and then it continued all the way down into turn 1 as well. But looks like we're going to get the leaders continuing their battle. Didn't look like Joris was close enough last lap. It was actually 5 tenths the gap, and even though usually we wouldn't say that's very big, but with this race, as I've said, it's been glued up right to the back, and now Dare has a chance. Joris didn't get the best of exits, and now Dare will have the chance, but Joris immediately has to use ERS to maintain 2nd position. Will Dare be able to go late on the brakes, or will Joris go for the lead to the inside line, and it will open the door for Dare to try to go around the outside? Joris super late on the brakes. Does he manage to take the lead here around the outside? Surely not. They will debate this place all the way down into turn number 4. Will Sixten cover the inside line? No, he won't. Joris will dive to the inside line with Dare waiting behind. Joris goes to the inside and he cuts across Sixten, who will now have to watch behind because Dare's trying to dive to the inside, but Dare cannot get that move done. Joris, Sixten and Dare now the top 3 after some incredible battling once again on lap number 25. This will be a battle that goes all the way to the final stages of this race, and you can see, look how close they are, all of them glued up right to the back of each other, and it's just one little mistake. If someone in 2nd or someone in 3rd, Geltech gets a 3-second time penalty. But soon as someone in second, or soon as someone in third, as 610 gets right into the back of Joris, soon as someone just breaks a tiny bit too late, which we did see earlier on, you can find yourself with losing the leaders. With how much wheel to wheel these guys have had, I'm surprised how none of these guys have lost the car yet after going wheel to wheel, and especially that occasion. They was very close, and Deha will need to try and do something audacious here. He'll need to try go for some move, but we're going to make our way through the final corner and down towards turn 1 again with 610 now remaining close. Now, is he going to be able to go for the move? DRS, super powerful down this straight. It'll be once again, because 610 will surely pull out of the slipstream, and will Joris cover the inside line? 610's waiting. 610's waiting. He's going to have to dive to the inside maybe here. Dare's going to try go around the outside. He gets a bit of space now as the Ferrari of Joris goes to the inside line. Dare now will turn the outside line to the inside line. Can he squeeze out 610? And 610's almost shoved off the road. And now 610 does have second position, Dare on third, but they have lost just about a tenth to Joris, but they'll be easily able to recover that. Brilliant racing once again, though.
Yes, very much there. That was not good from Sixton. I think a lapse of concentration there from Sixton, just looking in front, not looking behind towards Dehar, caused him to lose out some time there, as he's now about half a second off, about 4/10 now. But still, that can hurt a driver. We've seen it. Just being about a tenth off, a tenth off of where they need to be has hurt them. We saw that with Joris for about 9 laps. He was stuck behind there, close enough to make a move, but he was just half a tenth too far off, and he just couldn't get past. But good thing is here for Sixton is that it's almost like he's got the pace to control slightly where he wants to be, and this is going to be the important side to it. He's going to wait until, I'm going to say he's going to wait till lap 29 to make the move.
Yeah. Or maybe even an unexpected move at lap 28, because we have seen drivers go a tiny bit different. You can see the front two saving a tiny bit of ERS, so I'd say is there, but he's really on the attack. He really wants to take this. Now, 610, can he go for the move? Even if it's 5/10s, they can really go for it. Let's see now, here we go into turn 1. I think 610 has a bit of space to Deha, so he won't go for this one into turn 1 this time around. He is going to stick back until the final lap, it seems like at this stage. But what Deha basically needs to do is stay glued up to the back of 610, which then forces 610 to try and make the move. And then if Dare can try and make the move on both of them, but he's wide a bit. Oh, that was just a bit of lag. I thought it was wide for a second. It might have just been for me. But yeah, Dare, he just needs to stay right up to the back of 610, coming out of, I'd say, the final few corners. And then if he's glued up to the back, then surely 610 will go for the move, and we'll have a battle into turn 1. But also, let's take you through some of the other battles. Alessandro Finn has been closed in. He has those hard compound tyres, which can actually go more towards him towards the end of the race. But Elliot looks like has closed in But I have to say, for Alessandro, it's kind of worked out. He hasn't really lost any positions, but back over to the front. Still super close between the pair of them. We're about to go on to the penultimate lap of this race. Floor is in the pit lane. He's not having a good race, but he is currently still going in this one. So here we go. He's going to go on the soft tyres, try to do some blistering laps around this circuit. Elliot also chasing after Alessandro Finn, with Adam chasing after Geltech. So you have one McLaren on the attack, one McLaren on the defense. However, Joyce will be on the defense towards turn 1. Sixton will be on the attack. Here we go. Can he make the move? Dale just looks to be a bit too far back. So it looks like this will be going down to the final lap of this race, because you have now 610 not wanting to make the move currently, but he's going to go for it all here on the final lap, as we see Adam go wheel to wheel with Geltech and make an easy pass. To the inside goes Adam, and he's ahead before we even get into the braking zone. But here we go, and you can see Dale now needs to stay glued up. I think Epic, if dead, Dale now needs to stay glued up if he wants any chance of a victory here.
One problem I think for Deha is going to be getting past both drivers. That's going to be the problem, is getting past both Sixton and Joris, because Joris has put up some good defenses, and same as Sixton as well. And so I think that's going to be the worry. But there's also some battles going up on in other places. Elliot Norin going for Alessandro Finn. Adam Lundqvist has now closed up to this battle and wants a piece of it as well. It just seems like Alessandro Finn has that straight line speed, and that's going to be something that comes down to it in the end. We see Mattia Ria the teammates of Sixten Linthart going on the one of two Red Bulls in this race, Zach. At the moment, he wants to get 9th place, but he does have a penalty, so he probably won't. But there's a couple of battles up and down, and so here we go. Around the last corner, here comes Joris, starting off the last lap of today's Bahrain Grand Prix here in PSGL PC F5. Here comes Sixten Linthart for the lead. Sixten Linthart takes the lead here on the last lap, turn 1. What can Sixten Linthart do? Coming out of turn 3, he's using his ERS. He wants to stay in front. He needs to stay in front in his opinion. He needs to keep this lead. But there is George trying to fight. He can't fight enough. Sixten Linthart leads the race here on the last lap here in Bahrain. Still, it's all up for debate. The race is not over. The lap is not over. We're only around 50% through the lap now. So there is still a long way to go. But at the moment, it's a good gap for Sixten Linthart on Joris and Dehar. He's about 3/10 in front. He will be pushing, but so will Joris, looking for the last little chance he can find. Coming down through the left-hander, and for the last time today we'll be coming up through the long right-hander, one of my favourite corners on the calendar. Into the next right-hander. It doesn't look like any moves will happen unless a big mistake comes from Sixten Linthart. We're going to look behind from his car. We're going to look to Joris. Is he going to make a move? No, he isn't. Here is Sixten Linthart, the man who's led so much of this race, who's also fought for the lead, will win here. PSGL PCF5. He wins in round 2 Bahrain. And Joris finishes second with Dehar third. What a race. What a win from the Mercedes driver. Lots of changes as well up and down the field. Elliot Noren gets 4th. Alessandro Finn, 5th. Adam Longvist, 6th. Zach is 7th. Javier gets 8th. Matthew is 9th. Hassith, 10th. Parodi and Geltec. Geltec had penalty, so he finishes 12th. And the only 2 drivers left are ultimately Ash and Floor, yet to finish. It's just 2 last corners for Ash, but about half a lap for Floor. So it's going to be 13th for Floor. Bit of a disappointing one for Ash. 12th for Ash. Bit of a disappointing one. Of course, Geltec's retired. So he's actually going to finish not 12th, but he's going to finish 14th. Oh, that's going to be a bit disappointing. So now, coming up into the right-hander. Let's see. Here comes Floor, the last driver on the grid in the Williams. I thought he would do well today. He looked like he qualified well, but it hasn't worked out for him. Now, he hits into the barrier. He can't be bothered to finish. But that is the order. We'll run through it again when it's a bit more clear for everybody after all the penalties and everything. Driver of the day, Daniel Parodi. I don't think so. I think, in my opinion, it's got to be... It can only be one person once my screen loads this week. So we can then see the results. It can really, well done to Sixten Linthart. Well done to the man from Denmark. Well done to the Dane. He really deserved it. I have to say, it was a great race victory. Well, what do you think?
It definitely was. Great job by Sixten. I'll let you quickly run through the results and then we'll get more thoughts from myself.
Yeah, we're quickly just gonna try and get past the animations. We'll just click past it. But here are the results from the race. He started on pole. He finishes the race first. Sixten Linthart, the Danish driver, gets a victory. Then it's Joris in second and Dehar third. Dehar still holds on to the Drivers' Championship lead at the moment. Elliot Noren is 4th. Alessandro Finn 5th. Adam is 6th. Zach 7th. Javier 8th. Matty not having a good day. Only 9th. Hassith 10th. Danielle 11th. Ash 12th. Geltec 13th. Floor 14th, these are the retirees. NLR rookie, Zokolowski, Zelan Bieda, and Janej Dovzhan is another driver. That is the rundown. Now, what is your opinion? I'm waiting for it. I need to hear your opinion.
The driver started first, finished first. The driver started second, finished second. The driver started third, finished third. But that tells you nothing about the story of what was an incredible race. It was a battle that we saw right from the start all the way to the end of this race. It was absolutely brilliant once again. PSGL delivering as usual, as we expected. We did have to wait a tiny bit with a lot of restarts due to the qualifying. We had a bit of restarts right at the beginning before qualifying, so we did have to wait. But it was all worth it because we were treated to some brilliant racing, as I promised, right at the top of the broadcast. So, absolutely incredible stuff once again in PSGL. We're heading to Silverstone next time out, so that is going to be an absolute banger.
Definitely. We all love Silverstone. We all love the historic track it is. But sadly, for this week, we're going to have to say goodbye. It's been one of the most enjoyable times. Sadly, we didn't make it last week, but we did make it today. So hopefully that repaired a few people's hearts for F5. But it's been great commentating alongside you, Omi. Any last words?
Well, other than make sure you join us next time around. Make sure you check out the the rest of the PC tiers currently going on as well. Make sure you check out the console tiers are taking place on Monday, and obviously PCF1 on Wednesday as well. And obviously check out GT Omega for 5% off as well. Use the code PSGL on any GT Omega any product of GT Omega. So. Yeah, but make sure you join us next time around as well at Silverstone. That's going to be an absolute thriller. It's a race that we all love, the home of motorsport. So we're going to do it here in the virtual world. It's going to be an absolute banger, so cannot wait for it.
You said it best. You basically said everything I was going to say. Thank you so much to everybody for watching today's stream. It's been very enjoyable. I hope you come around again. This time, next Thursday, we're back again for some more F5. Also, like Omi said, go check out GT Omega to get 5% off some of their products. You're going to see a little PSGL trailer and a little ad before we go, but I hope you've enjoyed it. I've been Epic, this has been Omi, and I'll see you next week.
He's got the inside, here is through, on the left-hand side, hooks the apex, gets on the power nicely, and that is job done. Jarno Opmeer now, to the last couple of corners now, his finest drive, his greatest drive, and he's done it at the Circuit of the Americas. He returns to the top step of the podium. Once again, the GOAT is back. Jarno Opmeer wins the US Grand Prix in a stunning Grand Prix.